starting the incorrect live stream. So if there was a chance before that people will not come now, there is almost certainty. But let's see. Hopefully some of you will still join, and I'll be happy to answer questions, any questions you might have regarding visas, residence permits, citizenships, starting a business here, getting a health insurance, finding accommodation, anything related to the Czech Republic, moving here or living here. That's the topics today. Wasim Yahumi, hello, hi. Wasim, I would say Kwasim, but that's not correct, I think. So thank you for joining. Chamuki Bazuki as well, thank you for joining. What are you drinking, tea or latte? That's a tea. Two teas. Me and cafe or me and coffee have a very strange relationship. Sometimes I drink like 7 coffees a day. Sometimes I don't drink coffee for 2 months. But now it's a tea. Sweden Tamilan. As an EU citizen, first I must register with foreign police and then apply for EU registration citizen document. Basically, yes. It kind of depends on the situation, because sometimes you might not need to register with the foreign police, or sometimes you might not apply for the registration certificate, but technically yes. As an EU citizen, you have to register with the foreign police within 30 days after your arrival. And then if you want to stay longer, at this point it is recommended to apply for the registration certificate, but later this year it should become mandatory anyway. So I would recommend doing it right away anyway, because you'll need to do it later as well, so it doesn't matter. And it's better to do it now, because if you're coming here now, then all the years will start counting now if you get the registration certificate. If you don't get it now, you will have to get it later, but you might have lost all the months or years or whatever you've spent here already towards your permanent residency, for example, or the citizenship application. So yeah, exactly as you mentioned, I would do it that way. Ogval Emmanuel, hi Ogval, or Emmanuel, I guess. Thank you for joining. MD Sahid Udin Patwari. I have recently completed my master's. Now I have applied for a job seeking visa. Is this situation, will I be able to bring my spouse? Technically yes, but it kind of depends on the situation, because her application will be dependent on yours. So if you get the next application denied, first, her validity might be shortened based on the validity of yours. Second, if you get denied or if there is any complication or whatever, that will be a complication for your spouse as well. So technically you can, but it depends on the timing, and it might be a bit tricky, because you will only get the job seeker for 9 months, and then you need to switch to something else anyway, like an employee card or business residence permit. So possible, maybe just a bit complicated. Wasim, as a worker, should I add documents of work for student visa? Well, I guess it depends on the situation. If you're applying for your first student visa, then you don't need to provide any work related documents. If you're applying for extensions, then you could potentially submit your employment contract and salary slips as a proof of your income. Instead of proof of funds, that you have enough money in your bank account, you could potentially use the work as the proof of your income. But that only applies for extensions. For the first application, you need to submit the bank balance. SM. How to find accommodation in Liberec for Indian. I live in Prague. I want to move to Liberec. I got a nice job in Liberec, Staré Město. Well, ideally, I would combine approaches. First, I would ask among your future colleagues if they know something. That's usually how many people find accommodation, because some of your colleagues might be living in an apartment, or they might own an apartment and try to rent it out, or they might know someone. So usually like asking among your future colleagues works the best, or often works. Then I would definitely use a real estate agent. I would probably not try to, of course, depends on how long you've been here and how much you speak Czech and all that, but I would definitely recommend using an agent. You can use us as well, for example. but any other agent. That's usually easiest approach. Ashim Upreti, sir, how can I get my money back from Czech University of Life Sciences because I couldn't get my visa appointment in embassy due to limited slots? I think that's a question for them and the contract you signed. If the contract you signed says that they will not refund any money to you, then probably that will be very hard to get some money back. But yeah, I cannot answer that because I don't know what contract you signed, what are the conditions there. You definitely need to sort it out with the school. XYZ, hello. Can I submit my job contract to my student visa extension as proof of funds? Not as proof of funds, but as proof of income. And you can, but it needs to meet the minimum income requirement. So if you're making enough money, then you can use it. If you're not making enough money, you can still use it, but it will be useless. So that's the answer. Ogval Emmanuel, when I complete my studies, can I apply for citizenship in the Czech Republic? Well, it depends on how long will you be studying. Of course, you can apply for citizenship, but you need to be here for long enough. And long enough means at least 10 years in general, or 5 years of permanent residency. So it doesn't work the way that you like get a Czech diploma and then you can immediately get a Czech citizenship. No, you still need to be here like long enough and have a permanent residency first, but you can. Later on, you can get a citizenship. There is no rule that if you studied here, you cannot get a citizenship. So yes, you can, but you need to follow the standard procedures. Gaming Buddy, please share the link for cash job market. What kind of cash job market? What do you mean cash job market? But I cannot share a link here anyway, so just comment under the video when it's done and I'll share it. Arvinda. Hi Jan, I had sent an email to you, now I touched something. Can you please confirm? Sorry, I'm trying to see the message, but it opens some weird things. I had sent email, please, can you confirm? Yeah, we'll check it and we'll get back to you. I cannot check it now because if I go to my email, then I will mess up the live stream, but when we finish the live stream, I will check it and we'll let you know. Oasim, is it still hard to find rent in Praha? It is, it's still the same. No change there. I don't see a change coming for the next foreseeable future. So yes, still the same level of difficulty. SM, you're awesome. Thank you for the recommendations. My pleasure. Thank you for being here and asking the questions, because otherwise the live stream would be useless and boring. So we're in this together. Ashim Uprati, university gets my admission, but embassy do not provide my visa appointment. So help me to refund my money. I need a student lawyer in Czech University. Can I get your official number? We cannot help with this. We don't help with these kind of issues. I can recommend a lawyer if you want, so get in touch and I'll be happy to connect you with someone who might help. But again, first read the contract. If the contract says the money is non-refundable, probably makes no sense to hire a lawyer anyway. But if you wish, get in touch. I'll be happy to share the contact. XYZ, how much salary I have to show to get the extension done? That's kind of a complicated question or answer for that question. The number you're looking at is addition of two things. Something called a substantial minimum, which is a theoretical amount of money one person needs to survive in the Czech Republic for 1 month, which is, let's say, 5,000 crowns. And then the accommodation cost you can prove. So if you can prove that you live in a dormitory and you pay 5,000 crowns a month, then your net salary needs to be 5 plus 5, 10,000 crowns. If you cannot prove how much you pay, or you pay more than this amount, then the ministry will calculate with 18,000 crowns, roughly 17 something, but let's say 18. So your net salary would need to be 5 plus 18, so 23. If the ministry knows your real rent and you pay more than 18, they will calculate with that number. So if you pay 25,000 crowns per your accommodation, it will be 25 plus 5, so 30. So hopefully this helps. And we're always talking about net salary. So not the gross, which is in your contract, but the net which lands in your account. Arvinda, anyway, Jan, can you tell me an example of case number of the work permit which is registered behalf of my employer in the Czech? My consultant saying vacancy number is the case number of your work permit. Don't know exactly what you mean. You get a case number or like application number when you already submit your application for an employee card. Then you get come on, my brain. This is not helping. Probably I should drink the coffee and not the tea. Application number. You should get an application number when you submit your application for the employee card. Then yes, but for like an employment contract or permission to work, there is no application number which would be in any way useful to you, because that's just one document which either exists or it doesn't. So if you have an application number, it doesn't matter. Ala Omar, I did 2 years of study in Czechia. Do they count as 1 year for permanent residency? Generally, yes, if it was the proper studies that you got, say, master's degree, then they count as half. If it was the other purpose of stay, they count normally in general situations. Ashim Preti, please recommend me the lawyer. Yeah, get in touch, send us an email, and I'll be happy to recommend the lawyer. Dragan Bogdanovic, can the long-term visa be delayed due to a change of email? What do you mean exactly? If you mean that you used one email address in your application and then you changed your email address and you didn't let anyone know about that, then it could be the problem. Potentially, because the embassy will always contact you through the email you left in the application form. So if you don't use that email which you used in your application form, that could be a problem, because you will never receive a confirmation that you got approved or denied. If you meant it in some other way, please elaborate. I'll be happy to revise my answer. But generally, the result is sent to your email which was in the application form you submitted to the embassy. XYZ, what about the bank statement? How much is required for a single master student? That would be the same as for the first application, equivalent to 120,000 crowns, or ideally 120,000 crowns in crowns. Because if you're doing extension, you're doing it in the Czech Republic, and hence ideally you should have a Czech bank account. Abdurrahman Jallo. How can a student have a part-time job in the Czech Republic? Easily. If you're the proper student, meaning that you study an accredited program over Czech university, then you have free access to the Czech labor market, which means that you can work freely. So there is no limitation. You can just like find a job and start working. You just need to fulfill the purpose of your stay, which means that you need to go to school. If there is some attendance you need to meet, then you need to meet the attendance. You need to pass all the exams, all that. You need to fulfill the purpose of your stay. But if you manage to work alongside with the studies, no problem with that. Arvinda, the seasonal work visa, I need work permit or case number of my work permit, which is registered on behalf of my employer, but I didn't received work permit or case number or work permit. Anyway, the seasonal work visa is, in my opinion, the biggest scam there is in the Czech Republic. So if you're applying or trying to apply for the seasonal visa, most likely you got screwed and you will hardly get it done. So I don't think you need a case number for that, because that's most likely a scam anyway. Not saying that the documents are not real, but the question is if you will ever get an appointment, if the person who provided the employment contract will also help you get the appointment, or it's now up to you. And even if you come here for the 9 months, you cannot extend it, you cannot really switch it to anything else. So you'll need to leave back, which kind of is usually not what people applying for the seasonal work visa want to do. Yeah. Abdurrahman, any links. What do you mean any links? Like where you can look for a job, or where you can read more about like how much you can work? XYZ, thank you for your information. My pleasure. Thank you for being here. Arvinda, when I raised the concern, my consultant said your vacancy number is the case number of your work permit. So can you confirm the case number example, how it looks? If the, well, I don't, there is no number. There is no number for anything. Like, you either have the document or you don't have the document. So there is no like case number. There is nothing like, there is no application for anything. Or there was, but if either you have the document or not, or you don't have it, there is no like application number. The vacancy number, okay. Vacancy number is long. I don't know how many digits it has. 15, I think. 10, probably 10 digits is the vacancy number, but there is no like case number for anything. Nejat Isler, I'm mispronouncing, sorry man. Dobrý den Jan, děkuji za vaši práci. Rádo se děje. Jestli máte nějakou otázku, tak se ptejte. Abdurrahman Yellow, yes. For work, if you're a student, you can use the standard options, like for example jobs.cz or jobspin.cz, because you have free access to the labor market, so companies can hire you as an EU citizen basically. So you can use all the sources. Ideally, jobs.cz is the biggest in the Czech Republic. Jobspin.cz is more for foreigners. So I would start there. Sheks. Thanks for answering my question on email. It was very helpful. My pleasure. I think you're Anna, right? Or N. Maybe I don't remember, but I think that was the signature. Graziella Chon. Hi, is it true a company can provide a sponsorship letter for student visa? Like money that they will be supporting you financially. I've seen it happen in the past, but it's always a bit tricky or risky if the ministry accepts that or not. So technically, yes, for the financial support, but if I would risk it, that's a different question. Osim Yahuni, sorry. I don't know why foreigners said that Czech people are tough. When I see your videos, I see that you're so kind. I think Czech people are so kind. Thank you. I'm not representing the whole Czech people, so well, I'm happy that I'm making a good impression of Czechs. That's, I think, important, because that was one of the reasons why we started with Daria the business years ago, 13 years ago now. Because we wanted to help people and we didn't want foreigners to have the same impression we had back then, or Daria had back then. That's like real estate agents are really like bad and try to just screw you, that the immigration is like completely incapable of anything. So we wanted to make it better. So if you get the feeling from me, my videos and our services as well, if you use them, then that's great and I'm happy about that. Ashim Upreti, sir, maybe you skipped my question. I couldn't get my answer. Ashim Upreti, let me see. Ashim Upreti. Please recommend me the lawyer. I ask you to send us an email because I cannot just like shout a name here. Just send us an email and I'll send you the details of the lawyer who could help potentially. Arvinda, in government website purpose of stay, it stated employment permit or case number of employment permit. I don't have both in my document, so when I ask, they said your vacancy number is your... yeah, I will check the email, whatever you sent to me, and I'll reply to that to see. But again, the seasonal work, in my opinion, makes no sense to apply for at all. That's the biggest scam there is in Czech immigration. So I would not recommend anyone applying for it. But maybe you're one of the 3 people who don't get scammed and who will actually get here. So good luck. Tsegaye Berhanu. My student visa for Czech Republic is very delayed. It's been 80 days. What does it mean? Nothing. That's just how the ministry operates. If they have 60 days to make the decision, doesn't mean that they will make the decision within 60 days. They can make it in 30 days. They can make it in 60 days. They can make it in 6 months. They don't care. So it doesn't mean anything. It can mean something. It can mean that you will be denied. It can mean that the person who's making the decision is on a sick leave or on holiday, so no one is working on your case. Maybe they lost the file. That's also possible, or like placed it somewhere and no one's working on that. Maybe they need to verify something with the school and the school is not replying. Maybe there is something else. Or maybe there is just nothing and they're just slow. That doesn't mean anything. The only thing that is sure is that the ministry does not care about deadlines. That's the only thing you can be sure about. So if it's approved in 10 days or 40 days or 70 days or 367 days, that can all happen. Chamuki Bazuki, I will answer these 3 last comments. So Chamuki Bazuki and Basem, and Philip Ovu as well. Okay, and then I'll leave because I need to be somewhere else at 6. That's why I started early today. It's the Slovak you have to watch out for. Yeah, Slovaks crazy. Slovaks are crazy. Watch out for them. No, I don't know. It's not about the nationality, it's about the person. So, Basem, I'm mispronouncing for sure. Hello, Jan, I have short-term residence permit. That does not exist, so you don't have that for sure. But let me see if I can answer a question anyway. I have short-term residence permit. When can I apply for long-term residence, and is there a language test? Thank you. So, the question does not make sense, sorry, because short-term residence permit doesn't exist. Short-term can be only a visa, and that's a visa for up to 90 days. So that would be like a tourist visa or like a short-term visa, which cannot be switched to anything else. So hopefully you don't have that. You can either have a long-term visa or you can have a long-term residence permit. But there is a pretty big difference. And the permanent, where you need the language test, that's a permanent residency, and you can apply for permanent residency after 5 years of living here. So you only need the language test for that. If you want like more specific information, ideally just send me a scan of whatever visa residence permit you have in an email, and I'll be happy to tell you more. It's just like the short-term residence permit just doesn't exist, so it's very hard for me to like estimate what you actually have. And the last 2 things, can I obtain a work visa to Czech? I have job offer and all work documents. Depends on where you are. If you're from most of Asia and the whole of Africa, most likely there is basically 0 chance that you will ever get an employee card, because there are simply no spots available. And this is what many scammers use and misuse, and they tell you, okay, we'll get you an employment contract, we'll get you the accommodation, and you just need to get your appointment at the embassy. The just means that you cannot do it, and even if you have all the documents ready, you cannot apply, so you cannot get the residence permit either. So most likely you've been scammed if you're from Africa or if you're from most of Asia. Okay, so now guys, I see that there are still more questions, but I need to leave now, so I cannot answer them anymore. But if you want me to answer them, please get in touch, either in the comments, but that might take me a while to get to all the comments. But you can also send an email if you go to my bio somewhere. I don't know where you need to click to get to my profile. There is a link to a form which you can just fill in with your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them via email. So thank you very much guys for joining. Hopefully this was helpful again, and I'll see you again Monday, Thursday, until the end of the world. Good night, goodbye.